338-1985. Any questions or comments? I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines. We're in the last hour of the live stream. 202.
Assalamu alaikum.
Make it plain.
Yes, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you can hear me. Yeah, King Noble, this is the email. A brother sent your site to me, and it's the first time I've ever had an opportunity to speak to you. I'm the National Minister of Justice of the New Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, and this is the Imam Akbar. And I just wanted to, be an inspiration to you in your network and the good work that you're doing. But I want to look at the divine universal unity and the divine universal justice. And for a minute, look at the unity in black people. And I know you're one of the critics of a Million Man March. And I'm a man like this. I'm paramilitary. I will share with you, I did grow up in the Nation of Islam. I'm under the leadership and the strength of the Honorable Chairman Hashim Nzinga, who came out of Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who built most of what you see as the Nation of Islam. And I'm here to share with you that the unity is good. Farrakhan earned his spot, moved his spot. He calling his shot. You calling your shot, Farrakhan's calling his shot. And then to be good for black people, to do that unity, you goddamn right, you get your ass up, King Noble. Travel, man. And make that journey. That pilgrimage is good. If you leave New York City, you leave any spot. Every one of them got them sites where you see black men are shot down and killed. Well, I've been to them. I'm a national investigator for the Black Lawyers for Justice. I came under that leadership with the Honorable Chairman Malik Zulu Shabazz. I moved coast to coast. I just come off a tour from L.A. I'm dropping chapters as I go, places like Mobile, Spokane, Seattle, Washington haven't been traditional Black Panther chapters. And I'm with most of what you're saying here, but the wisdom in unity is that's a mass unity. When they drop them bombs through the windows and all our little black girls, I haven't recovered from what happened to King, brother. And I'm sharing with you this, brother King Noble. Look, man, King came out and said, man, the reason they dropped that, dropped that bomb, because we failed to, what we would say activate, what you and I say in today's language is to activate. And then, damn it, we said at some point, you got damn right, you got to mass protest, brother, and check this devil on the level in which will be effective. You see, no organization, no network is any better.
I'm not
against real ability to do community outreach or do effective outreach and bring our people to that where we reject the opposition.
I'm not against people going for the Million Man March anniversary. Okay. I'm not going. I never said that I felt like other people shouldn't go if they're so moved to go.
Video on it.
I think that black people as a whole should participate in any type of mobilization against white supremacy in any possible way at this time. So in that sense, I support it. I'm not going, and I use the fact that I'm not going as a platform to address the issues that I had with First Million Man March and with the inability.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your issue. What was the views on the First Million? I didn't get your first issue. I'm sorry, I'm not to cut you off, but I didn't know your views on the first march. I did attend the First Million Man March.
This is my issue.
I didn't get your views on why you didn't go.
The Nation of Islam and its inability as an army and as an organized force to effectively address the issues of police brutality as it concerns black people. I know that they can do a better job with the army and the numbers they got without marching or rallying to address the issues of police brutality as they affect black people. I'm absolutely clear on that. You're speaking to somebody who organized men. I'm from Chicago. I didn't win the hood. I didn't took over neighborhoods and dealt with the gangbangers. I grew up 2 or 3 blocks from Farrakhan's house. So I know.
Yes, sir. I did a lot of soldiers in that area.
Right. They can definitely use their forces in a more effective way to address the issues of police brutality. I'm clear on that.
Okay, let's
They don't need to rally. They don't need to call for no type of mobilization or no. That's like the police department. When they ready to move on us, they don't call for no million white man mobilization. they get the forces that they have organized, and they're willing to put their life on the line in order to stop anything that we're doing. And until we are able to, we do that ourselves, then we just shooting the breeze, man. We just selling wolf tickets.
Yeah, well, I didn't necessarily call it. Just the clip that they dropped on my clip was about the Million Man, but I'm still yet to hear any valid reason. Now, when I went to that first Million Man, I got something like this. It said, "I say your name, a black man that will not call a black woman a bitch or a hoe. I say your name will join a black organization. I say your name, I've adopted some black prisoners and got me some black prisoners rolling with me, and got some black prisoners I'm doing some emailing and writing and whatnot too, and then using that force, brother, against the opposition." Now, I got some good advice. When I went to Million Man, I got some good advice. And the money, man, we can't worry about it more. We should hope Farrakhan get double that money, man. And then now yield some kind of way, we're going to get a piece of that money. And use that man against the opposition. Now,
I don't care about how much money Farrakhan get or don't get. I'm not in Farrakhan's pockets. What I will say though is that I won't say that there's no positive work that comes from the Nation of Islam. That wouldn't be true. I'm sure that they're helping black men and black people on many different levels. But on the scale that they're presenting themselves as black leadership and as the answer to the problem that black people face as a whole, they are not living up to that.
He's got more. I'm gonna give you this. Louis Farrakhan personally had more answers than most of us. He has more answers and a higher wisdom than most of us. And the use and the manifestation use of that wisdom higher, but that's neither here nor there. But on the strength, now I run a paramilitary organization. Now we had to put some crackers on their backs behind this flag stuff and some other things, but we didn't go there to confront them on the flag. We went to demonstrate our views, and we had to be mobile to go to South Carolina, and you got to be in physical shape to put a cracker on his back. But that's not. We didn't come to say we're going to kick some butt. We just came to demonstrate our views.
I don't want you to use my radio show. You don't have to use my radio show to talk about any activities that you've done behind the scenes to deal with crackers. You don't have to incriminate yourself over my radio show. What I will say, though, is those crackers waving those Confederate flags in Carolina are insignificant. The real crackers that shooting our people down in the streets are wearing police uniforms. They're not waving no Confederate flags. So that those rednecks
I've investigated each one of those crime scenes.
Those rednecks
I've had an opportunity to go, right?
Their movement, those rednecks, they're suppressed by the same forces that we are. The same people stopping their movement is the same people stopping our movement. So I mean, we need to unify with them rednecks.
Literally, they drain. I'm gonna give you an example.
The forces of white supremacy on us, because let them rednecks. Let them have their towns with their own Confederate flags, and let us have our own towns with our own red, black, and green flags. But the same forces that will not let them, the same forces that will not let those rednecks have their own towns and create their own entities is the same forces that's stopping us. That's a fact. The head of the Nazi movement and the white supremacist movement is in the same supermax prison that the head of the black gang leaders and black leaders are in. They're in the same supermax prison. The white supremacist leader is over here, the Latin King leader is over there, and the black leader is over there in the other cell. So, I mean, that's bullshit. That's media. That the whole Confederate flag thing was a distraction by the real white supremacists to take your mind off of them and the destruction of the system of white supremacy, and for you to focus on some damn redneck somewhere in the middle of fucking forest fucking a damn cow some goddamn where. Those Confederate flag people are all cowards. They showed that they was cowards at the event. They pissing on themselves, getting their ass whooped. You're wasting time. We might as well have ran up in a senior citizen home and just whooped whatever white people we saw. We're wasting time with them. They got stockpile of weapons that they never used. They're not going to use. They ain't used them yet. And eventually their gun rights and their right to have a gun is now in jeopardized and being threatened by the gun legislations and the same white supremacists that's stopping us from having guns. So, I mean, come on, man. The system is about white supremacy. Second of all, the Nation of Islam has the military ability itself and the membership to confront and address the issues of white supremacy. Just like they came to Baltimore when that lady mayor called out and said, Farrakhan, I need your help. These Negroes are acting a fool. I need you to come and mobilize the Nation of Islam to keep these Negroes from destroying Baltimore. I think that was Baltimore, yeah. It's interesting that the nation can be mobilized to stop the gangbanging in Chicago, the gangbangers from killing each other in Chicago. They can be mobilized to stop the citizens of black citizens of Baltimore from tearing up the city. But they cannot be mobilized to stop the forces of white supremacy from killing and shooting down black people in their own community. That's a goddamn hypocrisy, because Farrakhan is working for and in alignment with the institutions and forces of white supremacy. This is a fact. This is why he's calling us to D.C., calling us to the central place of white supremacy, to bow down and give some recognition to white America. This is what I see. This is what I see going on. Otherwise, the nation would have already mobilized. Not just a few people in the nation. When they kill black people, the nation would mobilize as an army to go and address those situations. They would go and stand up, and you would see nothing but FOI uniforms standing up against the forces of white supremacy. When has Farrakhan mobilized the forces of the Nation of Islam to confront police brutality since Malcolm X? When have they stood up against the police department? When have they publicly went and mobilized to address these issues? Go ahead, brother. I said what I have to say. 202.
So on that strength, in Washington, D.C., there was a girl murdered by a police officer over a firecracker. And I did organize, and I did bring some of the forces of the Nation of Islam and went against those officers that would murder our black sister. And I'm just saying that some of them murdered one sister.
The nation mobilized the way it did in Chicago against the black gangs. They mobilized like they did against the black gangs in Chicago, or like when they're coming out to Savior's Day or the Day of Atonement. Did the numbers come out like that? Did they?
Well, brother, that's something that you have to organize. You know that needs to be done, King Noble. You can organize that yourself. But
I can't organize what's going on in the Nation of Islam. I'm not organizing what's going on in the Nation of Islam, brother.
No, I'm saying, but you know that needs to be done, King Noble. And as you organize your force, and you know it needs to be carried out, just carry it out. It doesn't have to bring the Nation of Islam.
No, but if Farrakhan, see, what you're saying is true, but if Farrakhan is asking us to come to the Million Man March, to come out there, to participate or be supportive to what he's doing, do you think that he is not going to be challenged to do something realistic?
Elijah told you to go.
I wouldn't even be talking about Farrakhan.
Those that are inspired by Elijah.
I wouldn't be talking about Farrakhan or the Nation of Islam. I wouldn't be talking about Farrakhan or the Nation of Islam.
The last march, they had two.
I wouldn't be talking about Farrakhan or the Nation of Islam if he had not called for 1 million people to come and support what he's doing in D.C. So when I talk about why I'm not going to do that, or the issues I see with it, then you tell me I should do it. So if I should do it, why would I go all the way to D.C.? You follow? To the Million Youth March to support Farrakhan and what he's talking about if I need to do it right where I'm at. Matter of fact, you're correct. I am going to do it, but I'm going to start right where I'm at. I'm not going to go and support the central ruling place of white supremacy in D.C. through buses and restaurants and hotels and all that. I'm not going to take all those money and resources and give them back to the damn enemy that's killing our people. And I'll do what you say. I'll stay here and organize that myself. I agree with you, brother. That's why I'm not going. You just made my point.
The unity part, what's wrong with unity with black people?
We already unified, man.
So I'm saying that day.
Have you been to the county jail?
What he's saying that day. What's wrong with
coming together with
Farrakhan? No, I'm not saying to
come together with Farrakhan for what?
Responding to his call, his specific call. He's calling for the black men to come to help him to celebrate his anniversary of something he called 20, 30 years ago.
the way we are being killed, there really is not much time for no type of celebration, man. We at war, man. What are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? Getting shot down? We celebrating the death of Sandra Bland? Are we celebrating the death of Eric Garner? Are we celebrating the death of Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown? What are we celebrating right now?
Yes,
we need to be preparing for warfare.
And black people, again, fail to activate on what King is talking about, that failing to activate. Malcolm and King had the same economic program. The disciples out of Malcolm and King did not teach the economic program. The disciples out of Elijah did not teach their economics on programs, to bring their own banking system, their own insurance networks, and other managing your own sports and entertainment in a manner to be effective. They didn't follow the instructions of Marcus Messiah Garvey. It caused me to write the 4M technology, which tells you what Malcolm and Martin and Elijah were telling you almost precisely the same message, is to have your own banking and economy system. And they failed to activate on the orders of instruction of the original one they called you.
Let me ask you this, though, brother.
Unity. Sir?
Did Haiti get their independence from the white man because of their superior banking and economic system?
Again, wisdom. Wisdom will be the key to that equation that you speak on Haiti from Denmark Visa, who the church where they bombed them, but Denmark Visa and Morris Brown, the college they shut down. I'm right in the headquarters of Atlanta, and they shut down the churches and shut down the institutions of learning of Denmark Visa and Morris Brown. And those are the leaders that really were doing a form of divine black revolution in that hour, that black law will come to check, uproot,
you know why people white law. The reason they say we need economics is because they're scared to fight the white man, and they need to create some type of mathematical complexity of financing in order to justify their fear to really deal with this damn devil in the way that he really need to be dealt with. That's a reality. We had black economics in Wall Street and Black Wall Street, and they tore that shit up. Black economics is not the solution. We got black economics. We don't know how. We don't want to use that economics for warfare. That's the problem. We don't want to use the black economics that we have to create a war chest to fight against the white man. All these basketball players and all these people with money, we got black economics. But the problem is when we need that money to go to war with this devil, it's not available. We got black economics, but that money is not being donated or used or distributed in a way for superior warfare against the white man. That's the problem with it. That's the only black economic problem that we have. We're not using our money to fight the devil. The most use of the money that I've seen for some type of economic war type reason recently is when Jay-Z used his money to bail the protesters in Ferguson, I believe that was. He bailed them out with his own money. Other than that, we're not using our economics for war. We're using our economics for more economics, 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 while we get murdered and killed and shot down in the middle of the streets. So I'm tired of that black economic theory because it's not working. And then you know you got certain millionaires within the white person's community where they'll just take and drop $1 million on whatever to support whatever cause they want to support. Those millionaires ain't gonna come to you and tell you, oh, you need to make more money. You need to be about black economics. You need to have more money. Why don't you start a business? Why don't you? They'll take $1 million and drop it on whatever idea or whatever agenda they want to push. In black community, when you go to a black person that got some money, all they're gonna tell you is, nigga, where your money at? They're gonna tell you, match me. They're gonna tell me you need to start a business. They're gonna tell me you need to work for me. But if you go over to white people, where they support their revolutions and their political agendas, they just drop the money down. That's the problem. The only economic problem is that we're not willing to give it to ourselves, not even for our own safety, security, liberation, or revolution, or anything. That's the only problem that we are having. 803. Hold on, I gotta check I lost my signal. Give me 1 second, I lost my signal. Okay, y'all gotta bear with me, I lost my signal. I am running this thing off the grid. All right, I'm back. Just a little signal situation. .803, you there?
Peace. Black Supremacy, this is Palmetto Star, the Ratchet Revolutionary. What's good? King Open.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I don't know. I was having some signal issues, but go ahead, brother.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I was calling about one thing. I heard the brother, and I would like to know, because we were in South Carolina too, so I was trying to see who that exactly was, because we were right there on the front lines as well. And you are correct that even though they did get their behinds whipped, that is not the enemy that we need to be, addressing at this time. You know what I'm saying? It's because when the police are over there shooting people in the face, you know what I'm saying? That's the enemy that's right there in our neighborhoods at all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's the one that's protecting the Confederate people. I mean, if those Confederate people didn't have the protection of the real devil, then that event would have ended a lot sooner.
Yeah, it definitely would have.
So if you end the real white supremacy, then the other ones won't have no freedom to do the shit that they're doing. They're protected by the white. They're protected by the police department. And they are being, the police are acting out the real aspirations of them. It's like, if you want to be a real white supremacist, join the Texas Police Department, join the police. Then you get to act out your white supremacy. Otherwise, you just, you don't cut the mustard.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And my thing with the whole, because, the brother was talking about the Million Man March and the Million More March and all that stuff like that. And I have participated back in the days in the Million More March, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have any problems with Farrakhan, but at the same time, it's what he's asking for is ridiculous. Justice or else, why are you even giving them an option? Why at this given time are we giving them or anything? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Why are we asking? Why are we asking anything? You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, we're still asking with the justice or else. The time for asking, the time for talking, and all that stuff is over. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff is done with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been done with, but it's definitely done with now. You know what I'm saying? And what I can say is that, even though the opponent that we were facing was not the opponent that we need to be facing, what it did get people ready for is to get the war ready, you know what I'm saying, and did prepare for the battle that we need to be fighting, you know what I'm saying. That's what I would say about South Carolina, you know what I'm saying, because I mean it was a psychological victory to have black people run the oldest terrorist organization out of the city that has probably ran millions, probably potentially thousands of black families out of that city. You know what I'm saying? So it was a psychological victory as far as winning a.
I mean, the footage that I saw, I was proud of what I saw. You know, of them. You know what happened to them crackers there. I was very proud to see that. However, I was not at all distracted by who our real enemy is. And until we're ready to stand up to that, nothing has really changed. You know, you just it's like you got to go against the bully's bully now. You know, the person that's bullying them is the real white supremacists. They're telling them, look, I mean, it's like a competition of predators. Different types of predators are fighting over the meal. They both want to eat the same enemy, the same victim, which is the black man. It's just the police are a bigger predator, and the Confederates now they really want to be the real. You know, they want to get back in a position, but they've been dethroned by another group of white supremacists called the United States imperialism agenda.
Absolutely.
So it's like you going, it's like you going picking on who's being bullied. They being bullied. They get locked up. They getting, dealt with by the police department. They're the gangs in their neighborhood. Ain't no black people there. The damn redneck is the gang. Poor white trash is the gang. They are the niggas where they at. To be honest with you, that Confederate rally wasn't nothing but black on black crime, man.
I will say this about it. I'll say this about it because, I was out there front lines and, I'm not going to get into specifics about what I specifically did. But, what I did say is that it did get, people were ready. You know what I'm saying? We did have people chanting at the State House black supremacy, you know what I'm saying, which I thought was a good psychological victory. It was a good psych op, I'll say. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a good psychological victory because when you talk about the KKK and these sort of people, these are the sort of people that black people be talking about and be scared of, like, oh, they're out in the woods training and all this other stuff, and they, you know what I'm saying, all this other survival tactics, all this other stuff, like they're prepared. That's them. That's them, and they got their behinds kicked. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, as far as that is, as far as a psychological victory, it was a psychological victory. But, when they came out there and because some of them did pull out their weapons, but they got put down by the police. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to what you're saying. They weren't, the police weren't playing that. They put them down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Because really they came out there to ambush us. If you know the whole story about about what even happened out there, is that their intentions was to come out there and ambush us, but the police weren't having that, and so they were getting bullied by the police, you know what I'm saying? And then they ultimately got their behinds kicked and ran out of Columbia by us, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I mean, it was a good psychological victory, but we got to be focused on who our true enemy is, and now is the time to really go down and fight that true enemy. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it is right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, you teach it, man. And we really need to be preparing ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically, economically, on every levels for that battle. Because it's for us to sit and act like that's going to be an easy battle, is to really be in a state of denial. We're going to have to be trained and be ready to do what we need to do. And black supremacy is the greatest platform for that, to start working the matrix out of us. Because to me, what I see is only the matrix in us can be used against us. They can only use the matrix that's left in you in order to defeat you. So we need to go through a detoxification and cleansing process to get all of the little aspects and tendencies of the matrix out of us, so that we are totally prepared and ready to stand against those types of forces.
Yeah.
Because if you got any coon or Negro left in you, that battle gonna get won so quick, man. Yeah. You're gonna say, boy, put your gun down, boy. And that little Negro, and you're gonna be like, okay, yes sir. I was just playing, sir. I was just playing. I just don't want no trouble now, sir. So that Negro has to die.
Yeah.
You feel me? And once we hang the Negro in ourselves, there's nobody left for the white man to hang or kill or anything. He's already gone. It's God now. It's God against the white man now. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So we have to, we're going to go through the path of really training and spiritually fortifying ourselves mentally, physically, and psychologically to make the type of war that it's going to take with them effortlessly. Effortless. You know, that's a fact. Because if we're still dependent on him economically and for our comforts and our lifestyle and the way we live, if we still dependent on him or are interrelated to him, then we're going to lose because we need him.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have to resurrect the white man just to even get the shit we need to live and survive. We're going to shut down the city, and then we're going to go the next day to rally for them to open it back up so we can get plumbing and water, and, you know, we're going to have to protest. We're going to have to kill them and protest for them to get back up. Because we need to fortify our independence. And out of our independence will come black rulership, will come the new black world order, will come and become the new system. A new system will come out of that. Because honestly, America going to have to turn into ancient Africa, where black people rule, where it's black rulership. That's all. We ruled in Africa, and we're going to have to rule right here in America. And the system that will be in place will be black rulership.
Absolutely.
After the end of white supremacy. That's a fact. So we have to start fortifying that to start establishing our independence and creating life after that shit destroyed. Because to tell you the truth, it's going down anyway. I'm here in Atlanta, but I was hearing in DeKalb County, all the water was cut off. The whole water system was contaminated. So the water was shut off in a week in the whole goddamn DeKalb County. Did you hear about that? So they sent them already. It's already going down. So that's thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people going without water because the whole water system was contaminated. That shit is going down, man. So we need to start fortifying our independence. We talk about separation from the white man, but in order to separate from him, we need to start building up our own separate way to survive and to exist. Yeah. Because you can't destroy what you are dependent on. And it's not the drug in and of itself that's the problem. It's the dependency on it that is the problem. You follow? Once you break the dependency, the drug is no longer relative. White supremacy is a drug that black people been on long before cocaine. Long before Molly and heroin. We've been on that drug of white supremacy for a very long time. As soon as they told us we were free, we realized we start having withdrawal symptoms immediately. Because we were addicted to being on the plantation and being under the white man because we have the Stockholm Syndrome. We've been under the master for so long that now we love being under him. We identify with him as ourselves now. Yeah. That's going to have to be broken. And essentially, that's what black supremacy is doing. Breaking that psychological dependency on the white man and his reality. That work has to be put in. Because some people went and tore down Confederate flags and went up against the Confederates, but got in their cars and drove back home to go and work for their Confederate boss at the construction site.
That's exactly what happened.
To work at the nearest Publix or the nearest Kroger's that's ran by the Confederates, If you in the South, the Confederates own most of this shit. So you can't tell me you fighting a broke-ass redneck. I mean, that cracker had time to drive down there in South Carolina to have a rally. That's the broke one. But the CEOs are the ones that run the South. So you can't go and fight him and then come home and bow down to the ones that's running your community and running your neighborhood and running your city. Unless you're willing to cut off from that. You're willing to give up your dependency on that. Well, go ahead, brother.
No, I mean, Yeah, you're exactly right. You know what I'm saying? Like that, we gotta break free from that, and you know what I'm saying? It is steps to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying before, that was a psychological victory, but it's only a step into the right direction where we need to go. I think the people are in Colombia, especially, are going in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? But you know, they need so, you know, they're going in the right direction, but it's just, you know, it is steps to this, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't just, yeah. So it's happening, you know what I'm saying? I'm very excited about what's happening right now, but you know, we definitely gotta be focused on who the true enemy is.
You teaching? That's power, man. 562, make it plain.
Peace, King Noble, and peace to AMBS and all this. How you doing, Dr.
Morning.
Great, good. Mom, I heard you say that you want to go to the Milliong March too, and I was just thinking, man, you know, it's not so much about Farrakhan. You know, when you start talking about true currency, you're talking about trust and bonds, and I just feel like at the Million Man March, what better place if you bring 2 million men, black men together, 1 million to 2 million black men together, what greater currency would you have? And I don't mean dollars. I mean in terms of creating true currency. Right there. True currency between your people. You know what I'm saying? And what better way, you know, I feel like people need to see and feel and touch King Noble. To get to, you know, have an opportunity to be able to feel King Noble on a different level, a more personal level in person. And you got all these black men there. What better opportunity to create that connectedness? You know, that was the only question I had for you. You know, everything else is as usual.
I mean,
on point.
I thought about that, you know, it's a lot of black people down there. It certainly would be an opportunity but to go down there and to network with people. But I think where and how you meet people, though, is very relevant to where it could come from. I mean, a lot of times, have you ever met people at a festival and you just don't talk to them no more?
True.
It's like the moment is such a utopia. People are just so drunk off of what, you know, that moment that it really sometimes just doesn't go beyond that.
I mean,
I
that's
met you at the march. I got the T-shirt, and that's kind of really what it is. It's not really. It doesn't. You know, you kind of get stuck there. Whereas if you meet somebody in the trenches that realize that we are in a real condition, in a real situation, because to tell you the truth, all black people are not in the same situation.
That's true.
All black people are not in the same. So we need to unify based on the trenches that we're actually in. Farrakhan might not agree with me because he's in a better position than me economically. You know, he's not going through what I'm going through, and maybe a large percentage of the people in the march are not. You follow? Right. So unity is not necessarily tangible. Whereas if I meet somebody more in the trenches of what I'm actually going through, then we can have each other's back based on what we're up against. So somewhere black unity becomes kind of too idealistic and very obscure, which is why you have certain groups. Go ahead.
Real quick, I was going to say real quick, when you think about it, though, you know, you're going to draw onto you what you are. Let's say you got 1 million, 2 million black men out there. Everybody out there is not necessarily feeling what Farrakhan is saying. They just trying to connect with something, you know, and then while they out there, you're going to find those that's going to be in the trenches. They're going to gravitate towards you. That's the natural law of life. You know what I'm saying? You got all this many black men together at one time. I think they just feel like you got to take advantage of that. It's just almost unwise not to.
If you live in an all black community, which I've spent most of my life living in nothing other than that, you know, every community I live in is pretty much the hood. It's an all black community. If you live in a predominantly black community, every time you get up and go outside, it's a Million Man March. What are you doing with it? You going to the gas station, just like the Million Man March, buying something, sitting down at some restaurants, and then you're going to come in the house and get YouTube.
The hood is a little different than when you got 2 million men coming seeking something. You know what I'm saying? It's just a whole different environment. It's a whole different atmosphere.
Let me tell you why the Million Man March in the hood is so relevant. Because the people in the hood are seeking something that's real, survival.
Yeah.
People that's going to the Million Man March is like on an opiate. They're seeking something that does not exist, which is Farrakhan having anything to do with justice or else. Farrakhan is, that's totally opiate.
You don't think it's going to be real?
Come again?
You don't think it's going? I said you don't think it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be in line with King Noble at this Million Man March?
As much as when I walk outside, as people are in alignment with me.
I'm just saying, but I mean, your message is to the world, really. You know, so it's not just to Atlanta. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
And you got people coming from all over the states. I'm just
a lot of people they're going to be on an opiate because honestly, the ability to create justice of else, you don't need 1 million men to do that. One man can get determined when their neighborhood and cause that. They don't need to go to Farrakhan to get there in the airport. They could get fed up. And they swear what that one man did, he would swear 1 million men did it to their ass.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? So if it takes 1 million men to figure that out, if it takes 1 million people to come together and figure that out, I would have to say those would be the most stupidest 1 million people on the fucking earth of all nationalities. How many niggas do it take to put in a light bulb? Because if you kill my family, my relatives, in my community, if you do something, I have evidence to see that you're doing that. You don't look for 1 million men. Look for the one that's so cold you might not even be able to see them.
But I mean, it's almost like, you know, it's like you bring about the Nation of Islam mobilizing. You know, they're not you speaking about mobilizing. You ain't trying to mobilize with one person. You're trying to mobilize with an army, like you said. You know, I'm just saying. I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just giving you something to consider.
I'm saying they got a big enough army of trained people. Like they don't need 1 million. I mean, 1 million people is overkill. When you got an army of people, you follow no government or nation is ran off 1 million people. Their regime is only like a few people. It's a small percentage.
True.
So if he got all these people training, why are you begging rappers? And you know what I'm saying?
I mean, like I said, man, everybody that's going down there is not in agreement with Farrakhan. Just know that, you know.
Right. And I'm not, like I said earlier, I'm not telling people not to go. I'm saying I'm not going. And I'm using the fact that I'm not going as a platform to kind of address what I feel like needs to happen that hasn't been happening. But I think go by all means. You know?
No, I understand that. I mean, every man gonna make his own decision. I was just saying, you know, and I understand also that the power of any cell is in the nucleus, and this is also the smallest part of the cell. So I understand what you mean by.
I'm still, you know, I'm always going to stay optimistic and open-minded, even though I'm gonna lean towards being a realist and a rationalist with the decisions that I make. But I really do hope that they had this march and people go down there and somebody just say, you know what, fuck it, and actually just kick that shit off. Like somebody be like, man, Farrakhan ain't about to do shit, and just stir that shit up.
And you never know when you get you never know.
Cause the insurrection, and they just overthrow the damn White House that day. I hope the worst thing that the white man could fear happening that day, I hope that it actually happens on that day. I seriously doubt it, because I know the Farrakhan, they are an army of being able to put out that type of fire. They've not mastered anything greater than putting out the fire of angry black people. Whether the bullets used to kill Malcolm X or just going up in Baltimore just saying, just stop, calm down, assalamu alaikum, peace, don't do no more. I think that the Nation of Islam would put that fire out, actually.
No doubt.
Farrakhan has been applauded by white supremacists of all states across the country for being able to put out the fire. They call on Farrakhan to put out the fire of insurrection and anger of black people. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And he's able to do that without no guns. He's a social worker for white supremacy, man.
Right. He comes in after Al Sharpton.
Come on. When they can't do nothing else, they got an army of social workers to use a diplomatic tactic to make it look like one of your own most militants is telling you to stop. Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I feel that. I can see that, too.
But I hope, and I would do a voodoo ceremony, man, that the spirit of just anxiety and fed-upness of black people overwhelm the suppressive power of the Nation of Islam regime. You feel me? On that day, to overthrow the United States government, man, on that goddamn day. I hope that happens, but you know what? I'm not going to be disappointed when it doesn't, because it's probably not. But I'm across my fingers.
If you look at you look at our cells, how the nucleus is the most powerful part of the cell. But even dealing with that same metaphor, these cells come together to create organs. And at some point you need organs to make those sounds, to make the sound and make it come out clear. And I just feel like, man, it's a good opportunity for not only you to meet people, but for people to meet King No. You know what I'm saying? And really and get an understanding of a real feel, not through cyberspace and all of this other stuff. It's just like a real tangible.
If people meet me where I'm at, I'm probably, I'll be the next martyr when black people actually meet me.
I feel that. I feel what you're saying on that. And that's actually something I really didn't take into consideration either, from that perspective. But I understand, though, at the same time, it's a balance.
And I've stepped on enough coon toes, man. I got to be very strategic over how I move.
That's real.
You feel me?
That's real. Yeah, I can feel that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say, bro. Everything else,
Thank you for calling in, man.
I salute y'all.
It's always refreshing to hear your perspective, man, on things.
All right, I appreciate it, bro.
Black supremacy.
Black supremacy.
831, last 10 minutes of the live stream.